Hi guys, and welcome back. Starting a little bit early, so I'd say people will be on in about 10 minutes, but just going to go through a lot of questions. So first one was I can't make the Q&A this evening, but I'm looking for a 10 to 15 minute mobility class that I can do every morning. I run 5 days a week and I just need something to loosen my hips. I seem to have a lot of hip and glute pain. I feel like if I had a go-to class every morning, I get into a routine. I also started high rocks and I realized I have no strength. Yeah, so that can happen. Okay, so a common misconception is, say if you feel like you have tightness, that it's just purely a range of motion or a tightness issue. A lot of times, a tightness issue can be, or we're not moving well, is three things. So first is a mobility issue. It's like it's a flexibility, and with those, it's three things. Okay, so if you are tight in an area, it can be three things. It can be the joint, and then we need to get you moving through the joint better, generally the ankles and the hips. It can be the muscle tightness. The muscles are like tight and they just need to be stretched for longer. Or it can be a spasm in the muscles, and then we want to use our massage ball or foam roller. So we want kind of a mix of those things. Secondly, then, if we're not moving well, it could be like an activation. It could be actually like certain areas are tight because the area that should be strong isn't strong. So a lot of times we get piriformis tightness in the hip. So the muscle underneath the glute is actually tight, but that's tight because it's overworking and the glute isn't doing enough work. So then in order to we can release off the piriformis, but in order to allow that to have longer lasting releases and relaxation, what we need to do is get the glutes firing more and get the other muscles doing the work they should. And then lastly, it's like technique, like work and just as I said, true ranges of motion, learning how to move, learning how to move better. And the lighting's not great in here. So so in essence, like that's what we do in our Pilates. So if you're looking for something like say 10 to 15 minutes, I think that's great. I'm going to go through. So if you've downloaded our app, you can go to content.backawarebelt.com and you log in with the same app details. Okay. Uh, if you have, right, then what you'll see is go to plans. And the first ones I would go for then is there's a couple of things I would do. I would one, maybe try the hip rehab. These are all like 10-minute videos. So hip rehab one, rehab two, rehab three. They're all 10 minutes. So that could be what you do one every morning. We have a hip mobility video. How long is that? That's 11 minutes. So then that's more of the joint range of motion work. That could be like day four. Um, then that's going, and then we could do hip releases. I generally like doing the hip releases in bed or watching TV. I wouldn't waste 10 minutes in the morning doing it. I feel like it's easier stuff to do. Other things though, if you are doing the Pilates, just do 10 minutes of the class. And then, so for example, say if um, let me, now there's a couple of things you can do. Let's go to January. So January 2026, they're on. The add-on videos are all just 10 minutes. So you could just do the add-on videos. But if you wanted, you could just do like the first 10 minutes of this class and then start at 10 minutes for the next class. And you'd get like, say, four classes done there in the week. And that will have its combination of like technique work, activations, and some mobility in it. So there's a couple of things you can do. As I said, you could go to injury rehabs and hit the hip because that's where your like hip and glute issues are. And then these are all 10 minutes. So you'd have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, uh, Thursday, if you want an easier day, Friday, and then either take 2 days off or do the 10 minutes for whatever the week is that we're seeing. Or, as I said, go and do maybe you do one of them, one of those, and then you do whatever prescribed class. You just do the first 10 minutes of the class. And you might do it rather than doing 45 minutes straight, you'll just do 4 10 minutes and make up the class that you see. Okay, hope that helps as an answer. Um, Doing some strength work as well would be really good. And then if you're doing the Pilates on top of that, it'll be really excellent. You'll be getting a lot of balance. I'm going to wait for Mike's class or wait for Mike. I think he might be in on a quarter past. So Let's check. Another question then I had, any tips or advice around self-checks or assessment you can do to see if you're ready to return after an Achilles tendonitis, left leg only? Thought I was doing good, was walking pain-free, and then progressed to a walk jog, but after a 4K easy run, it flared up again. And I feel like I'm back to square one again. It's very frustrating. That is very frustrating. When you have setbacks with with injuries, it's very frustrating. The only thing I can say, sorry, hopefully that wasn't tagging that. I'll just hold this out. The only thing I can say is, even though you feel like you're back to square one, you're not back to square one. The work that you've been doing is not in vain. So if you've been strengthening the area, doing our, say, maybe calf rehab, doing your Pilates, if you get a little bit sore, it's not like you go back to zero. You just go back to the step before. Okay, so yeah, I wouldn't wait then as long as it was to get up to 4K again. So maybe you go out, like, give it a day or two until it settles when you're walking, and then try to do a walk run of maybe 3K. Um, because you just want to, you need to kind of see what area or what level you can do it without it flaring it up. There's four things to look at. Well, one, when it's so, if it's not sore walking, you have to try something, like you might leave it a few more days. Are you progressing on your rehabs? You'll see on our rehabs, we kind of add some like hops and landing into like phase 4 or phase 3 to kind of prepare for running again. If it's something that you've been out for a long time, that could be an idea. Um, I'll just literally share that again. I'll just talk you through it. So let's go back to plans this time. Let's go to injuries. Let's go to calf and rehab. And I'd be looking at maybe doing like phase 3 here. Even I must do a new one of this. The plantar has a few more where I think it goes to 4. And if you wanted to do like phase, well, it's roughly the same. So it's like we just start adding in those kind of hops and landing. So you could do that as a, make sure that the rehab that you're doing is kind of progressing on, like skipping, and does it respond okay to that? Or doing just a little few more like standing legs, using the calf a little bit more. Can you get something where you're feeling it, but it's not getting sore? In general, when you need to progress on, there's 4 things. One, we just want any like sharp pain or sharp pain. Like, so if it's a dull ache in the Achilles, I wouldn't worry about that. Second, then you want to make sure that it's not worse next morning or not much worse. Once you start easing out, does it feel the same as it normally did? 3, make sure it doesn't make you limp. You shouldn't change the way you move. And 4, then there should be no swelling or redness around the area. And if you're hitting those 4, sometimes, look, it is frustrating, but sometimes it's like, okay, give it a break. Try next time maybe 3K. Walk, jog, plus your rehab. And then was it able to handle that? And maybe do that for a week and then gradually build it back up to 4K, 5K again. There is a little bit of just trial and error. And just make sure then that you're progressing on your rehab as well. It could be that it's just too big a jump from running to what you're doing. If you want to let us know what you're doing, I can kind of give you options of what you could progress on to. Okay, I think Laurie's going to be on, so I'll wait. Um, I'll ask, I'll answer one question in from Mike, who he was on a couple of weeks ago. He did really well in Seville. Coming off a couple of good training blocks, Dublin Marathon, which was very successful, and Seville, then Dungarvan, where I felt a bit wrecked. Aerobically, I'm good, but top end speed is off and hamstring is tight. Thinking of sharpening the pace once I recovered. Advice as regards how much recovery is good to come back fresh and how to come back to improve speed for shorter races for the first half of the year. Mike, I think that's a really, really, really good approach. Too often people are just rolling from, like, say, one marathon into another like half marathon or marathon, and it's very easy to get samey. So what we want is there should be 3 blocks in your year. There should be a preparation phase, or sometimes we call it a fundamental phase, where you're building your aerobic base. You use some light speed, but it's more about, building that aerobic base, getting strong in the Pilates or strength training, and then a little bit of like light speed just to keep that keep that ticking over. Like, so we'll do a bit of power in hills. Well, again, we're not really like forcing any bit of the training. We're just building a really good aerobic base, keeping the top bit sprinkled in, but we're not focused on races, etc. Then, right there, now we can have a few of these in a year. Then we'll have the specific phase, um, which really involves, that's our 16-week marathon block. That's our 3 months prep to get ready for like competition phase. So it could be like 2 months or 3 months of dialing in the training that we're doing to hit like our race series when we start hitting 5Ks. So we might hit one 5K, be a bit rusty. 2 weeks later, we'll hit another 5K. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, we'll hit another 5K. And then, or 10K or 4 miles or whatever the races are. And we might have one more race after that. And then, or we might just have one big race like a marathon. And then we need a transition time. And transition should be broken into two things. One is rest. For example, after Dungarvan, if this was like that you're feeling a bit tired, I would look at like at least a week to 10 days of rest. I said this to Monica as well. I think she came back strong. She had a PB. Hey Laurie, good, glad I
Hey.
hey, how are you? I just had to start a bit early. I'm down to work. We're going to a quiz. I
Oh,
haven't got
sure.
onto your questions yet, so I'm just answering one from Mike. He might be on right now and be freaked, but
Okay.
um
How much have I
when
missed?
about 15 minutes.
Oh, geez.
Um
Okay.
Sorry, yeah, I just went for it. I was getting there was cleaners in here like looking at me when you're going. I was like, oh, I'll just get going. Um because I'm still down in Waterford, as this lecturing.
Uh,
When there's a transition, I'm just saying for Mike, after a big block, you need like rest. Usually, sometimes they'll say like easy day of rest of like 1 mile for every 1 day for every mile that you ran hard. So if you did a 10-mile race, that would be 10 days of either complete rest or easy running or like cycling. So the transition phase for you, Mike, would be maybe like 10 days to 2 weeks. You might have 1 week completely off, and then you might have 1 week of like cycling, swimming, gym, yoga, hiking, like things that are like not running related, but like just get you moving back, get a bit of fitness in. Wonder is that mic now, the iPhone. Um,
Yeah, Owen, it
oh my
is.
God, I'm
Yes.
just after answering. I was just saying, Mike, like what I would do for
Oh,
you is like a downtime of um
yeah.
like I said, look really good on that. And what you want now is you want a fundamental block, which is like building up the specific
Yes.
block you've done, which is like our 16-week block into the marathon. And what you kind of did was like roll that through into another like big competitions. But you want that transition block now, I feel. Your
Okay.
body's kind of telling you where it would
It
be like
is.
7 days maybe off, like or a
Yes. Okay.
swim, something very light.
Biker.
Another
Right.
7 days of like cycling, swimming,
Lovely.
yoga, hiking, something that's like day on, day off, something easy just to get you some way back in. Like your Pilates be nice there,
Yes.
staying away from the running. And
Yeah.
then I would be looking at maybe going. So then you have your fundamental block or your preparation, competition block, and then you have a transition block. And the transition block is rest and then alternate exercises. So if you did
Lovely.
that for 2 weeks, then it's easy. I would then go back into like yeah, I think then going into something different is ideal, especially if you've been doing
Yeah.
a lot of the longer
Shorten it
stuff.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just go in. And it wouldn't be crazy initially because there is a thing called the acute to chronic workload ratio. And what that is like, what's the training stress that we're putting on ourselves relative to the level of fitness we have? And you haven't done crazy amount of the sharper work. So if we get you doing loads of sharper work straight
Yes.
away, you don't have that level
Tisn't.
of
Yeah.
fitness. So we just need to and it's nice. We'll just build back up the aerobic without the real like taxing long runs, really stuff that you had to do to get ready for the longer
The longer
events.
stuff. Yes.
Like more of the like 80% or 90% aerobic runs.
Yes.
Um, I was thinking that about myself that like the good runners, what happens is you you're you're kind of just tipping along. Like I'm doing high rocks in like 3 weeks time now. Um, but I can feel it now. The last couple of weeks, it's just things are dialing in. Even my own head, I'm like, okay, I need to get this training done. but you need a place to raise to. Before that, it's just like just tip into the training. And it's the same when I used to do, well, I get back into 5Ks now again. It'll be like getting the running done, getting the sessions done. And then about 6 weeks out from the races or 8 weeks out, then you start really thinking, ah, shit, now I need to like dial in. But
Yeah.
before that, it's just about like getting the training in, not stressing yourself too much about the training, but just ticking it off. And then
Yeah.
the 6 weeks to 3 weeks out beforehand, we can start dialing in. So for you, the next 2 weeks, I would take easy. I would take a week nearly off. I would do
Lovely.
a week of like day on, day off of like running, like not running. You
Bike
do a little
maybe.
run if you want, pool, bike, strength
Yes.
training, just something different. And then I would do, then I'd build back into, we'll put you onto a 5K block, but
Yeah.
the start bits are still going to have like zone 3 running, zone 4 running, a couple of strides. And as we then escalate, say a month or two down the line, then we'll start putting in the
Yeah.
like track work. And then what I was saying with a 5K block is nice. And like, and the fact it's only February, it's like there's a lot of road
Yeah.
races around
There is the landing in April and May. Yeah.
Yeah. And then what you do is, say if you did want to do a marathon, it's like then take a down week, two down weeks again, and then you can
Yes.
build into your 16-week block.
Yeah. That's good because I'd be able to kind of reconnect with a bit of speed and build that side of it this side of the year, and maybe just have a bit of crack racing a bit loose, and just and then lock down into kind of a more kind of structure blocked in into the marathon. It can probably maybe Dublin or something like that, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
Yeah.
you need that as well. You need even the mental break of like
Yeah.
not having to worry that every race has to go great. Like,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
what doing a 5K block after a big marathon block in the summer, it's like when you go back into it, it's like that pace doesn't feel super fast.
Yes.
For people who do marathons on marathons, it's like it gets grindy. Like the pace that
does.
they're doing starts to get grindy, that they're always just running at that same kind of pace or having
Yeah.
to do aerobic. Whereas like if you got 5K, it's like, oh God, it's easier to come back up. The pace doesn't feel as hard.
That's it. Like I did Dungarvan on Sunday, and it felt like I couldn't push my body any harder, but I was
Yeah.
like almost conversational pace because I just I felt aerobically I wasn't stressed. I was able to keep going, but it was just that pop in wasn't there. It was that or
Yeah,
nothing,
and
you know?
and look, you've come off big, really good marathon block.
Yeah, marathon's brilliant.
Then went into
Yeah.
the half marathon. You're just
Yeah.
off Seville. So like
Yes.
trying to do that 10 mile, it's like just the nervous system's like, look, dude, I'm
just
done
said-
here.
Yeah, I dialed it back and went just to 5 minutes slower pace group and just kind of tried to enjoy it and have a bit of crack, and
Yeah.
that was good fun too. Like,
And that's the right way to do it. Now I think take the downtime. That will allow you to absorb all the training.
yes,
And that's what people miss. They kind of they just kind of float
Go from
along
one
and they
block
don't
into the
realize,
next.
like sometimes
Yeah.
you need these downtimes. Like every elite athlete does that, where like August generally will be, they're off or they'll take down. So then that then allows more structure in the year to like peak. And why I feel like people like the marathons is it gives them a structure, but you can still have that
Yeah.
same structure for like a 5K series or whatever
Yeah.
you're doing.
I never went at a 5K training block. Never really went at that type of. That'd be interesting too. Something completely
Yeah,
new, like, you know.
And I want you to keep the same mindset you have now.
Yeah,
Like, let's do it where what I don't want to do is get into it and be like, oh, but I need to hit. It's like, do it and nearly in your head be thinking everything at 90%.
yes,
So even with the times, like when you're hitting it, like there'll be track sessions, but just don't be like veer on the side of easier than harder.
yes,
And you'll be surprised how quickly things will come. Sometimes when you come from the marathon blocks, because the 5K stuff can feel fast, you're
Yes.
forcing that speed. Whereas
Yes.
if you actually chill and just go, okay, if I'm a little bit slower, you're still like, you're getting into that flow. After say 4 or 5 weeks, you'd be surprised how much you have improved. Like,
Yeah.
and how the times have come on, not forcing it.
yeah. I get you. Just let it come like naturally.
Brilliant. That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very good.
Okay. Exciting. So 2 weeks
Good
easy,
stuff.
we're glad to know.
I'll enjoy that.
No, with the
I'll
weather
stick
the
with
way
the
it is,
Pilates
isn't
though
it,
as well.
man?
Like I'll stick with that. I might get some of that in towards tomorrow or the day after, and just try and keep that
Yeah.
consistent.
Yeah, that's
Anyway,
it.
that's kind of
That's
a good
now it's a nice
routine.
time, spend a bit
Yeah.
more time on like the massage ball and stuff if you're taking a day off, like
Yeah.
don't like, that's the time to do those kind of things and just kind of
Yeah.
top that bit back up. Okay,
Lovely.
Laurie,
Very
Had a
good.
good
Thank
few
you.
questions here, which is great. Laurie, we got some feedback on that one last week. People are loving
Okay,
it.
great.
Yeah. Yeah,
Great.
yeah. It's like one of the most popular, like it's just in random emails. People are like, oh, listen to that, and I loved it. So well done.
Oh, good, good.
Okay. We're going on with my left foot, my two toes are kind of glued together. Yeah, that could be just when it's in the recumbent bike or whatever. All I would do is just intentionally try separate them out, even if you have to move it. But like that can happen sometimes if the ankle gets a little bit compromised. Anytime I roll on over my ankle, I can never actually do that with my toe, and I have to like
Yeah.
really squeeze. So like just constantly try move it out just to get it back going again. It could be like when you're on the bike or um
I can
yeah,
notice
it
it
can.
sometimes when I'm walking too.
Yeah, just try see if you can just move it back out. Sometimes it might be just a little bit tightness on the peroneal nerve. It
Okay.
is absolutely freezing up there as well, so it could be so, when you're out walking in the weather the way it is at the
And
moment.
seizing up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
wouldn't I wouldn't overly worry about. Yeah, I just move it out, and it could be even the weather if you're out in the cold at this moment. Okay, when riding the recumbent bike, I was actually thinking about this because I was a good one. I can do more. I can't do more than an hour. My foot bugs me, and also my right hamstring. In biking, in lieu of an hour easy run, normally would mean a 90-minute run. Would doing two 45-minute rides, say in the morning, late afternoon, have the same effect? Okay, I was thinking about this. Yes, okay. If we always say that if because you don't have the same stress on the body, that you have to do an 1.5 times in the distance, like the distance or the time. So if you were out for uh, a 1 hour run, that would equate to a 90-minute cycle. However, because there's less stress, what you actually are better off doing, not like especially for the time, Laurie, for not to be boring, is
Yeah.
make the bike into a light session. And in that way, then you can do the equivalent time.
Okay. So what kind of like you
So I
mean?
would do like, if you do 10 minutes warm up on the bike, and then if you have your heart rate or whatever, take 10 beats off. But if you could do like, um, five by 5 minutes at zone 2 or zone 3 on the bike.
Okay, I've been doing it all zone 2 so far. I do have my heart rate set to be 10 base or 10 beats roughly below my running zones. And then I aim to do my whole ride in zone 2.
Yeah,
That's what I've
so
been
even if you
doing.
did like 5 by 7 minutes at zone 3,
Okay.
off 90 seconds easy spin. Or you could do like all the running sessions that we have. So you could do like say 12 to 15 minutes. So do a 10-minute warm, 12 to 15 minutes at zone 3, then do like 3 by 4 minutes at like 10 beats faster than that off a minute, and then do like a minute faster spinning, a minute slower spinning.
I'm just writing this down.
Yeah.
So the last one you said so three by four with going
A
10 beats
minute
per
off.
minute faster than my zone 3,
Yeah.
and then 1 minute off in between those, and then after that 1 minute
Then two
faster and
minutes
one
easy
minute
spinning,
slow.
and then maybe do like 4 or 5 by 1 minute a little bit harder than the zone
Oh, okay.
4 one, and then 1 minute easy spinning. So in
Gotcha.
that way, right, what you'll have is you will have it that you'll have it that like you're on the bike for 45 to 60 minutes max. The legs won't be as bed up because like the quads will be fried muscularly for a while because it's just getting used to it, but it's not like the same impact coming down.
Yeah.
And aerobically, you've probably got more of a benefit than being on it for longer. So,
Okay.
like, why we can't obviously do that when we're running is that with the impact, it's a lot to recover from. But we can be adding in more, like, especially when you're not out running, just with the way the weather is, we can add in more like bike type sessions that aren't like that aren't getting injured. So where I started thinking this again was, I said I'm training for a bit of a high rocks now, and like the day off, when we would do like 60 minutes running, like you man just gives us like sessions on the skier, on the rower every day. Like they're not as hard as your hard days on the thing, but it's always like, Jesus, I'm breathing hard here. But your body's always okay. And it's like you're talking about, it's like, yeah, people seem not to get injured. Even these high rocks guys, doing the gym and doing all the like rower or skier, it's only running injuries to get like calves and whatever else. So it's like it's running is the one that seems to be flaring up. So we can be doing like little mini sessions. Like we shouldn't be wrecked coming off them, but we don't have to do like, especially, the bike's not really set up for that. So it's easier if you're doing like a stationary bike or indoor, like just do it like a spin or do it like a little modified session and see how the body responds. And I then think then you're not worried about having to come back onto that like in the evening time or anything like that. It's like it's still 60 minutes or 45 minutes even. But because we've been able to get the heart rate up much more without that kind of impact on the body, I think that's a way better idea.
Okay. All right. Happy to do that because it does get tedious.
Yeah, and it will reduce then let me just get the other sessions for you. It will reduce the how boring the bike is, because then it's always just like 10 minutes easy and you're into something. So ones that you could do are, as I said, 5x7 at like zone 3. You could do like 5x5 minutes at like zone 4 or zone 3 off like a minute. And then we did a cut down workout, as you said. You could do 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes, 2 minutes, going from zone kind of 2 and 3 up to zone 3 and 4.
Okay.
And all of those would be off like, say 90 seconds of easy spinning in between. So 10 minutes at like zone 2, 2 minutes easy spinning, 8 minutes at zone 2, 3, 90 seconds easy spinning up, and just keep cranking it up a little bit. And then you could do like 15 minutes easy, bit of a stretch, and then do like 2 minutes on hard, 1 minute like slightly easier and go. And then you could do 3 sets of 6 minutes of like zone 3. So into zone 3 for the first one. And then 4 by 1 minute on faster, 1 minute like steady. And do 3 sets of that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like and then just repeat, go back to the 5x7 if you're still, hopefully becoming more into March, then the snow starts to melt. But yeah, I was actually thinking that, and I was chatting to James Edingham about that before, and I just forgot that you said, like, if he puts people on the bike, it's like just give him a session. If it's just indoor, it's like rather than having to be there for ages. And it's like it's no more the outdoor bike. It's like, you're just naturally spinning. You don't want to nearly do sessions the whole time. But if we're on a spin bike or on a recumbent bike, then I think it's a better idea to do little sessions. They don't have to be hard sessions now. If you think of like how you'd feel after a 60-minute run. So that's why I'm saying it can even be 45 minutes. And err on the side of like making it easier, but you're just doing a little bit with a little bit of intention, breathing, and getting the heart rate up, and then you're getting all the stimulus that you would.
Yeah.
Okay. Goblet squats for hamstring rehab. My legs are stronger than my upper body. I'm trying to do a goblet squat of like 2 by 20 pounds since my legs can't handle it, but my arms keep them up by the chest. Can I get the same effect for my legs? Yeah, if I just let them hang down. Yeah, you can, yeah. Yeah, if it's like, say your biceps are kind of giving out, if you just have your hands down by your side, the legs are getting the same workout. That's no problem.
Okay.
Last one then. I sometimes switch my plan around to accommodate the crap weather. For example, I did Pilates on Sunday and ideally should have run yesterday. And done my hamstring hell workout. I used rehab today. Yeah, that's funny. However, it was super cold yesterday, but only -4 today. What a life. -4.
Hey, -11 with the wind chill. That was warm.
I'm loving it. -11 with the wind chill. Jesus. Oh God. Fair play to the ancestors just to go, yeah, this seems the spot. They must have arrived there in the summer and then just got stuck. That said, I found Sunday's Pilates week 4 really killed my glute medius. So I was still pretty sore when doing the rehab strength yesterday with a lot of Bulgarian split squats and sit to stands. Was it just stupid of me, or was that just stupid of me? Should I stick with the alternate cardio strength, even if it means that more cardio ends up being done on the bike versus running outside? Look, Ideally, yeah, but like if the weather kind of gives, you might want to just go out for a run, and that can happen. You might just do 2 runs in a way. Maybe now that we've talked about doing sessions, it's less like onerous of like if I thought I had to do 45 and 45, it's like, oh, I'm just going to do something else and I'll run 60 tomorrow. Where maybe
Yeah.
now if you're like, look, I don't mind doing a little bit of a bike workout, it's easier. Look, you know the way the Pilates is. Sometimes you're working muscles a little bit harder. I don't think there's anything there that I'd be overly worried about. Like you're doing a lot of single work, which is going to hit the glute medius, and then the glute medius is already tired.
Yeah.
Like I think it'll be recovered in a few days. I don't think there'll be any like long lasting issues with that. And
Okay.
yeah, so if that happened again next week, I wouldn't be like overly worried about it.
Okay. Okay,
Like I've
good.
done
Because
that
yeah,
loads of
because they
times
sometimes,
myself. Yeah.
it's just kind of trying to decide what's more important, doing things in the right order or just trying to, because I did like I haven't been outside for like almost 2 weeks. So when I
No,
noticed
no.
that
Yeah, if you
today
can
was
get
going to be
outside,
okay, I thought, let's
yeah,
do
if you can
that and
get
just
outside,
swap
get
around.
outside.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, if you can get outside, get outside. Um, and you learn to like adapt. I've done that loads of times where, as I know I mentioned it 90 million times today, but like if there's guys doing like say a gym workout now, and then the next day, because I'll do my runs. If there's someone doing a run session and then I was down for Saturday, but they're doing a Friday, I'll just always like just jump in because I want the company, you know.
Yeah.
Is it ideal? Probably not, but it's like, is it like, do I like this better? Yeah. And it's like, do I think I'll be like long term get away with it? I do. You know, it's the same. If I'll do a gym session and like, oh, we're doing this high rocks thing tomorrow, I'm like, yeah, Grant. Like I might need to adapt it slightly. I might go a little bit easier than I would. Like I'll definitely like same as on the bike, I'll play with the punches knowing I've done it the day before, but I won't be so regimented both ways. I won't be so regimented that like I won't do it because it's easier. And then I won't be so
Yeah.
regimented that like when now that I'm doing the exact same. It's like, no, no, like I'll do it. And if I feel like some of them are a little bit harder or could be a bit too much, I'll just pull back, knowing that, well, 2 days in a row is harder, so I'll just get that cumulative fatigue.
Okay. Yeah. Actually, quick question on the clamp, like the week 4 Pilates. The
Yeah.
one that got me the most was the one when you're in the clam position, but you're kicking your leg out to the front.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that really gets me. Like the other ones, like I can do all kinds of other clam stuff and banded monster
Yeah.
walks. It doesn't kill me the way that does. Is it hitting some other muscle too, or
I think
what?
it's hitting the TFL a little bit, but I'm the same. I don't know if it's because we don't do it that often, but geez, yeah, I find the same. If I just
Yeah,
kick it out, my leg would be absolutely burning.
yeah. Like it's just I can get through most things, and that one's excruciating. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah, I
I'm
know.
wondering, should I do
I'm
more of
with you.
that?
I'm with you there. I'm with you there. I don't know if we don't do it that much. I'm going to add in a new one where we lift up a little bit as well, just to get the eccentrics. Okay,
Yeah.
better
Okay.
go soon. James, well done on the the races. Super stuff. I don't know if you can unmute, but yeah, well done. I was chatting to you on Final Surge and well done on all the races that you did. Okay, so um I think he's muted anyway. So thanks a million, guys. Another good session. Really like those excuse me, really like those questions. If anyone has any follow-up questions to that or anything like they want to ask next week, just fire it in. All right, take care. Bye bye.
Thanks, Home.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Owen.
bye.
Thanks, guys. Well
Take
done.
care.